say I'm just going to try and take it off. The handle inside the vaginal canal, you start at 0.2. You see how so when we do the treatments, normally so this is, if you look at the anatomy of the female, this is what I've done in order to perform a treatment, because it was a bit too painful. In this video, we're going to talk about this particular device. First of all, we'd like to thank our customers who made this video possible. It's thanks to them that we've got the resources in order to make it, and has been requested by our customers. So now this is a detailed explanation of the Areton 3-in-1 Professional HIFU. So what is it? First of all, let's give an idea why it's so good and what it does. First of all, is a professional HIFU. So if you're not sure about what a professional HIFU means, you can watch the video on explaining, where we explain how the professional HIFUs work and what are their peculiarities, so to speak. And also we've got a section on our website describing that as well. Now, this device is beautiful because it's very lightweight and it's portable. We've got two versions of it. This one is the lightest, lightweight version. It's not the most beautiful one, but it's the lightweight version of it. Now we're going to actually start it by switching it on. So have a look at the screen. So when you get this, when you switch it on by pressing the on button, which you cannot actually see over there, but it's just at the front, you press the on button. Then you've got the Areton logo, and you've got the two symbols, the normal cartridges, the ones that you've seen with the HIFU Classic face and body, which is 1.5, 3.0, 4.5 for the face, and 8.0 and 13.0 for the body, which we're going to talk about in a second. And the vaginal tightening, which is absolutely beautiful, is for the vaginal canal. And we're going to talk about all this. So we're going to focus mainly on vaginal tightening in this video, because this is the main purpose of this device. It's not as if it works any different from the Classic, whereas actually for face and body, but it's got the added value of the vaginal tightening, the vaginal rejuvenation, which is absolutely amazing. So we're going to just crack on to that. Let's see whether I forget anything. So basically, in order to summarize, this device is beautiful because it's lightweight, it's portable, and it does a lot. It does a lot, and it's very, very cost effective. If you want to know the price of it, have a look at our website. But let's get into the vaginal tightening, which is the most important thing. Now, the cartridges are normally two for the vaginal tightening, is the 4.5 and the 3.0, and I've got one that has been inserted in there already. So what you do, you just make sure that they're disinfected first. Another note to take into account about these cartridges is, like any other cartridges, just like these cartridges, which you may be already familiar with if you watch our training about the other professional HIFU devices, you have to perform the regular maintenance, which is you have got to replenish them with water every 2 to 3 months, because the water will evaporate over time. The same applies to this. Let's say I'm just going to try and take it off. Just got that is actually fallen off on the floor because the device is not fully assembled. What happens is these are full of water, and they've got to be pretty much 100% full of water in order to operate. By the way, as a side note, if this device works even after the handle falls off, it's absolutely beautiful, because it shouldn't actually work after the device falls off that way. But anyway, This has got to be 100% full of water. If it's not, then people will not feel anything because they've got to be full conductivity between the transducer and the skin of the vaginal canal in this case. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to insert it back again, and the good thing is, see if you actually see it there. So look. So if we see it there are grooves in it, and this is matching with these, so it's quite easy. You can actually make a mistake when you insert it, and also if you look at it, see whether I can actually show you pretty well that way. Yeah. You all you have to do is make this line match up completely, and you insert it. Very easy, very easy. It's as easy as it comes. Then you've got the two options here. You can actually go for the vaginal, which is on the right, or the face and body, which is on the left. Face and body, we'll see it shortly, but we're just going to the vaginal first, and this is absolutely beautiful. Now, here in the settings, you've got 350 here, as you see, and this is the rotation of this handle. This is the rotation. Basically, it performs a rotation of 350 degrees. So it's spaced by an angle of 5 degrees in this case. The length, this is the same as, so look if I can show you here, is the same as the other cartridges for face and body normally. For us to say the 3.0 up to the 13.0 are the same length. It's to say maximum of 25. If you see here, 0 there, and it's 25. So it's 25 millimeters. So the length is 25 millimeters, and you can actually adjust it if you wish. Actually, I can make it less, I can make it more, but I'll leave it at 25 millimeters. Then you've got the pitch. If you watch the other videos, then you'll understand what the pitch is, which is the distance between each shot. So in this case, it's 1.2 millimeters, and you can make it up to a minimum of 1 millimeter, or a maximum of, so I'll look what we've got. You're going to go to a maximum of 5 millimeters, so you only get a few shots. So 5 millimeters, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots within a 25 millimeter length, if I got it right, because 25 divided by 5 by 5, 25. Yes, I do apologize for the math. My maths is really poor. When I was a kid, I really hated it. I still use the calculator to do these very simple calculations. So we're going to go to the minimum. Again, we're going to go actually to the 1.2, just for the sake of it, 1.2. Now the power is a minimum here from 0.2 to a maximum of 1.5. Now again, the power level is the same as before. It is actually here, and it should be in joules. It's just an indication. Now, the way you regulate the power is just as well as just the same way that you've actually seen it in the HIFU Classic or any other HIFU Professional. And especially in this case, there's no any possible anesthetics that you can actually use unless you want to put the customer asleep. Then you need a total, a general anesthetic, which is not advisable. There's not such need for it. So this is not going to be the case anyway. So the way you regulate that power level is just adjust it from the bottom power. Is to say, go start when you insert the handle inside the vaginal canal, you start at 0.2. You see how the customer feels. If you can increase it, just go and increase it up until she can tolerate it. That's the most important thing. So that's how you regulate the power level. Very simple. So you start from the lowest power setting, see whether she can tolerate it, and then you adjust it up until she can still tolerate it. And you'll find that almost no one can actually tolerate that 50% of that power level. They can actually jump. They cannot tolerate it. So it's a very powerful device. It's like any of our professional HIFUs. It's like a Ferrari. You can actually run it really fast, but you will never actually drive that fast anyway. So it's the same here. You've got exceedingly incredible amount of power, which you will never use anyway. Now, let's explain it, because it's absolutely a beautiful thing. This is an auto button. It'll become apparent shortly when I'll actually do the test. But we're going to keep it switched off. Now, 350, what does that mean? I'm going to go in. You can see this 5 angle. 5 angle is the rotation. As I say, it starts from 0 and then it rotates by 5 degrees and then it makes a shot. It rotates by 5 degrees again and makes another shot, and so on. And then if you divide to 350 by 5, then it gets a total of 71 lines. So if I say, for example, change the number of, if I change the angle of 4, you get 88 lines. If I increase that to 360, that is actually the same, but it actually should be a bit less. So if I decrease the angle, I get 117 shots. So the lower the lower the angle, the more the shots that you're gonna fire in the vaginal canal. The length is quite straightforward. It's the same as you've seen in the other HIFUs, so it's very, very straightforward. So I'm just basically, once again, it's just like, it's the same as you've seen before, so I'll actually show you. Say, for example, if I change, and I think it's worthwhile to repeat ourselves. So if I make a 5, a minimum, basically what happens is the shots are going to start from 0 to 5, okay? And then if you make it 10, for example, I'm going to get the shots at a distance of 1.2 millimeter each. So it's going to start from 0, up to 10 millimeters, okay? Very, very simple, very, very straightforward. Once again, if you're not sure, please let us know and we're going to explain it again, or we're going to make other videos, which is quite important. Once again, I just want to repeat again, it's very, very important. So this length is this bit here, from 0 to 25. The maximum, as you've seen it, is 25, which means is that from 0, it will fire shots up to 25 at a distance of 1.2 millimeter distance between each dot, each ultrasonic fire. Because it actually fires. If you've seen the other videos on our HIFUs, then that is going to be apparent here. But basically, you can do the same cartridge test using this handle, and you'll get the same dents onto the perspex as you get onto using the normal standard phase 3.0 or 4.5 or 1.5 cartridges. So the same thing. In one of our videos that we've published a number of years ago, I think almost 2 years ago, we actually showed you this already. To put on the head of the device. Just gonna do that now. Just make sure I've got enough. Just to show you the indentations that this unit causes on the piece of perspex. So it's going to be a bit more awkward in there, because the head is always moving. So we're going to try it now, see whether it works. So see whether I can show you. In there, that's it. Going to press on the on button briefly. That's it, and you can see it. It's actually a quite powerful unit, and then it goes into the next position. So I'm going to move the perspex slightly, so you're going to see other indentations to form. I'm going to press again. There you have him. It's beautiful. So I've set it. That's pretty much it. Let's have a look if we've got anything else to talk about. That's fine. Yes, that's pretty much it. So yes, that's it. Now we've got another very, very important point. I'm going to leave this handle here. Then we're going to actually show you how this works. But before you go and use this device, you've got to do your before and afters. So when we do the treatments, normally using the HIFU for face and body, we do our before and afters, yeah, so you have to take your before pictures like any other aesthetic treatment. So how would you take the before and after of a vaginal tightening using the pressure testing? Now, go into this very nice button and you do pressure. You've got this bit, you sterilize it, insert it into the vaginal canal up until pretty much this point. Let's see whether if you can see it up until this point. Basically, when you get it, this bit is actually, you can actually bend, so you can bend this thing. This is, so see whether I can show you here. This bends, so it's no problem, all right? But this is quite hard. This bit here, this handle is hard and it's metal. So you use it and insert it into the vaginal canal. And then what you do, let's say my hand is the vaginal canal. Then I've got to shut the valve. I see my left hand is making my vaginal canal. So for all the men watching, my hand is a tool of enjoyment. So left hand, got it here. I'm going to shut off the valve here, and I'm going to press it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? And you've got the pressure there at the moment is, say for example, if I tighten it, if I tighten my hand, it's going to get higher pressure and so on. If I just release it, it's going to release the pressure. Look, you can actually see it. It's not constant because it depends on the pressure that I put in my own fist that is regulating this, because I'm not actually doing anything with it. So if I tighten it, the pressure increases. If I release, the pressure is released. So what you do is, I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to do it 4 times, okay? It's very important that you do it all 4 times or 3 times. It depends on how you want to do it. So basically you've got the same reference. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then, once it's pretty much as stable as possible, press save. I recommend, because this doesn't actually remember this parameter here, I recommend you take a picture or you take a note of it. Better you take a picture of it and you make it as a reference, okay? And then, after your nice customer comes back again, you do your other test again, you retest it. So basically what you'd like to see a higher pressure after a treatment. So please forget about this number here, because it means absolutely nothing. It's the pressure I've applied using my left hand. So you get different values there. If you want to know more about these values, go and read our manual, because it's there of public domain. We've got all the information out there. But basically, what you're looking to do is just just pump it 4 times or 3 times. Make sure you pump it again the same time every time, so you don't pump it first time 4 times and the second time 3 times. Pump it pretty much the same force 3 or 4 times. You can choose whichever way you want to, whichever number you want to use. And then you want to see a higher level pressure the second time your customer arrives. That's pretty much it. And this is the before and after, if you want to know about it. And that is included in this device. Both this version and the beautiful version have got both this nice thing. Now, let's talk about, once you've taken your nice pressure test and you've got your beautiful lady there who wants to have the treatment done. First of all, you have to make sure that this is sterile. As sterile as possible. You can use alcohol, whatever you like, to make it sterile. You take off, I mean, let's assume this is taken off. You try to you sterilize this part. You sterilize the cartridge as well in the best possible way. But then that's not that important, because then what you have to do before, it makes a click when the connection is made. Before you insert it, you have to put a condom on, which is mandatory. And then you insert this nice tool inside the vaginal canal. Now, see whether I can actually show you here. Now, the length of the fires is actually from here to there, yes? But here, from here to there, there's a bit of distance. This distance. So this is, if you look at the anatomy of the female body, that will leave you a bit of space so that you just don't go completely inside the vaginal canal, actually and fire where you shouldn't be firing it, and that's done on purpose. Okay, so you just insert it up to where you can insert it. Obviously, if it's too painful, if actually you cannot actually push it too much, this actually you hit an area you don't want to actually keep forcing it, because you're going to cause damage. But as soon as you get some resistance, you stop. Pretty much, very likely you've just hit the top of the entrance of the womb there with that. So then you should retreat a little bit, just a little bit, and then you're ready to go. So then the other thing is quite important. Let's see what I can actually show you here. There is a 0 in here, which is going to be illuminated later on as soon as this set up. Now, let's talk about the auto function. The auto function is beautiful because that allows you to fire once, and this beautiful thing will do the work for you. So basically, I'll describe the treatment now, and then we're going to see this functioning. So basically, once you've inserted it and you're happy to go, you click if you click the auto, this will actually cause a rotation of 360 degrees in this case, up to when all the lines have been fired. So all you have to do is stand there, really, pretty much. But what you want to do in practice is you fire the first shot, even in auto. So if you've got the auto function on, this thing will actually, you don't have to do anything. It will rotate it up until it's finished. So you stay there and you speak to your customer and make sure that she's not too uncomfortable. Then if you want to stop it in auto, you have to press this nice little button here. Press this nice little button there, and it stops at that particular angle. And then when you want to resume the treatment, you just press this button again, and then up to the end. Why would you want to stop it? If the power level, if you have to adjust the power level, then you would want to pause the treatment. So that's why you'd want to pause it. Now, another very important point. Now, let's say you've got it at 25, set this at 25. So once you've finished the 360 degree rotation, what you have to do is, you've got this, say you see this this measurements here. So you've got 125, 100. So yes, so you've got to actually take it out by exactly 25 millimeters, and this is why you've got these very nice numbers there. So you actually can identify 25 millimeters, and actually what you do, let's say this is the vaginal canal, this is the entrance of your vaginal canal. Just push it, you pull it out by 25 millimeters, and then you repeat the process again. So very, very simple, up until you just take it out. Very, very simple. It couldn't be simpler. This is why I love this thing. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. If I just remember well. Yes, that's beautiful. So let's play with this thing. Now I'm going just to now. Another very good thing is that, so by changing the angle, then you can make the treatment more or less intense. So it's up to you what you want to do. But let's keep it 5 degrees, just for the sake of it. Let's keep this number at 1.2, the length at 25, power level at 2. So I've got select the auto, but look at this, what happens now. See what I can actually show you in this picture here, in this camera. Press ready. So the device is rotating itself. I'm doing nothing. It does the job itself in terms of it's making sure that it works properly, does its check, and it's now ready to go. Now, I press start, I like this very nice button. I haven't pressed start it yet, but that's that it actually lit up, meaning that it's ready. Press start. And when I press start, all I have to do is press this button there to start the process. But let's say I press the auto button off. What happens is, like, see what I can show you here on this camera. See what's the best camera. Let's see. I'll use this one then. See, I can show you this that way. Okay. If I press this once. Yeah, so basically it fires a shot and it rotates. It rotates by 5 degrees and stops. Then I have to press it again in order to fire the other shot and rotate by another 5 degrees. Now it has rotated itself by 10 degrees. I press it again. Yes, and then it's rotated. Look at this. Actually gives you the angle of rotation so you can actually monitor it, because it's quite difficult to actually see here. You can see it there. Press it again. Actually corresponds perfectly. Matches up perfectly. It's so beautiful it is. Press it again. And then it rotates again. Press it again. See, 30 degrees, we're almost there. Beautiful, 30 degrees, I'm going to press again. Okay, now I'm pressing auto, and I'm going to press again. Look at what happens. I actually don't need to press anything. It does it automatically, actually rotates automatically up until it's finished. Lovely. So you actually stay there and have your nice conversation. If I want to pause it, I press this button, this very nice button here again, and it's paused. Why would you want to pause it? It's just to regulate the power level. If the customer, so basically you start at 0.2, see whether she can tolerate it and increase the power up until she can actually tolerate it, and then you let it go. If at any point she's too uncomfortable, then you press this button again and you pause the treatment, and you pause the treatment, decrease the power level, and carry on up until this very nice thing has gone to the top. Once it's gone to the top again, all you have to do, let's say this, what is it? Nah, here. This is the vaginal entrance. You just slide it out by 25 millimeters, and then you repeat the process. I'm just gonna start. Ready? Just stop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ready? You repeat. You don't need to actually press ready again if you don't need to. You repeat the process. You go another rotation of 360 degrees, and you're done. And then you just once you're finished, then you pull it out by 25 millimeters up until you're completely out. Very, very simple. So this device basically works on the inside the vaginal canal only. It's not for the outer labia. And what you do is first you go with the 4.5 and then you use the 3.0. So it couldn't be simpler. That's the way this device works in terms of the vaginal treatment. Now let's go and explore if that handle is still working. See whether it's still working. It's a beautiful device. This is actually fallen on the ground, on the floor, on the floor. See that it's working. So I'm going to go back. Press this. No, I've actually gone into the vaginal again, and I've got. It seems as if it's working because actually it's detecting the cartridge, the 4.5, which is here. It's detecting it. And then, if you remember, for example, the HIFU Classic, normally the 4.5 you can only do this area here. If you remember, especially is to never treat that area there, is because there's been some reports of a partial paralysis, a temporary paralysis of the. I can't remember exactly that particular nerve. It's a nerve that goes in this direction, goes there and goes up, and that causes some HIFU Classic. Normally the 4.5 you can only do this area here. If you remember, just watch the video on where we've done the treatment with the HIFU Classic. But this is a beautiful device. It's because it gives you an idea where you can actually perform the treatment. But the main difference between this and the HIFU Classic is that it doesn't actually give you the numbers that you can actually fire per area, which is a bit of a downer on this device. But it's still a beautiful picture over there. It still does the same thing. And if you remember the HIFU Classic, look at this. Have a look. You still have the same thing. You can actually adjust the power setting of each cartridge other than the vaginal, if I remember well. Other than the vaginal, you can actually adjust the 1.5, which is here, the power level of the 1.5, the power level of the 3.0, the 4.5, it's another, the 4.5 here, the 8.0 for the body, and the 13.0. If you want to know more about that, then you can actually watch that video when we talked about that, but we want to explain it again. So basically what this does, this is the threshold. This is the advanced threshold of the power setting. Say for example, here we've got a 0.3 joule in this case, then, which is the minimum we've got. So let's assume our customer is very sensitive and they cannot stand that power level because this freaking, excuse my language, this device is absolutely beautiful and it's very, very powerful. What you do, if we're in the 4.5, she cannot bear that that treatment because it's too powerful. What you do, you decrease the power level. You bring down that power level of 0.3 in the advanced settings if you want to the minimum, or by 20%, whatever you like, and this is really good. This is a very, very good thing. If you watch the other videos, this is what I've done in order to perform a treatment because it was a bit too painful. And you've got the same thing here. Basically, if you want to do the perspex test, what you want to do is just increase the power level to the top, then you go there and then increase the power level to the top, and then you do the perspex test as usual. So I'm not going to repeat that for this particular device. Then, so look, now I'm going to change the cartridge. Makes that annoying sound as usual to a 1.5. The 1.5, if you remember, has got the 15 millimeter distance between that bit and that bit, if you remember. It's the same thing as the HIFU Classic. And this gives you the same thing as the HIFU Classic, but with the advantage of having the vaginal rejuvenation, and the only disadvantage of not having the counter there for you. However, you've got the number of lines, so you still can count the number of lines that you shot per cartridge. You can still do that, like the other devices, like the HIFU Classic, but you don't have the numbers in there if you remember on the HIFU Classic. I'm going to do and show you the 3.0, which is again like on the HIFU Classic. It's got it's got 25 millimeters from there to there, and then you can adjust. It's just like this in the same way. So look, you can adjust the distance between. This is 1.6. You can adjust this distance, which is the distance between the dots. So it's 1.6 millimeters, but you can adjust it down to 1 or up to 1.6 maximum in this case. We're going to keep it 1.2, which I particularly like. The length, of course, you can adjust it as well. So you can adjust it from a minimum of 5 millimeters to a maximum of 25 millimeters, just like the normal HIFU. And we're going to go and show you the body cartridges. We've got the 13.0s, have a look. body cartridges. Body cartridge. So again, if you've seen the HIFU Classic, it does the exact same. It shows you the area that you can actually treat. So this is the 8.0. You can actually see it there. The 8.0 is there. And I'm going to put the 13.0. And again, detects it, 13.0, and you've seen the number of shots that are left. In this particular device is a maximum of 5,000 shots per cartridge, but again, we've got the 10,000 or 5,000. That's pretty much it. Again, you can do the advanced settings, which we actually talked about, and yes, that's pretty much it. So to summarize, this is an amazing device. If you watch the video on the HIFU Classic, which does the face and body, this does the vaginal rejuvenation, the vaginal tightening and the vaginal rejuvenation, vaginal canal rejuvenation as well. For a little extra, you get this extra feature, which you now know how it works, especially the vaginal tightening or vaginal rejuvenation is beautiful simply because it is extremely easy to perform as a treatment. There's very little, if nothing, that can go wrong. In the vaginal tightening, you've got also the added benefit that you don't need the gel, you only need a condom. Yes, that's pretty much it. If you want to know how to use it for the face and body, you can watch the HIFU Classic training video treatment because we have made that available for the HIFU Classic. And also the cartridges are the absolute same. The 1.5 millimeter is the same as the HIFU Classic. They work in the same way. So you've got the same cartridges, same everything. It's not as if they're compatible, but you've got the same thing. So basically the same, whatever applies to the HIFU Classic applies to this in the face and body. Nothing changes, with the added advantage of having your beautiful vaginal tightening, which if you do your research on the market is quite a sought after treatment. Yes, so should you have any questions, by all means feel free to ask us. And many thanks for watching, and many thanks to our customers who made this video possible for you to watch. And great. So if you want to have more videos of this sort, you know what to do. Buy our devices and you contribute to our cause. We are making all these videos available so that more and more people can train safely on the use of these devices. And if you just scout online, you cannot actually find these sort of things anywhere else up until now. So we provide the very, very best training, and we provide it online. And again, many thanks to our customers. If you watch this video to the end, many thanks to you to have the patience to listen to me explaining about the use of this absolutely amazing device. Many thanks.